meet Uno, the red-tailed hawk. Her handler and many others like her take in injured or orphaned wildlife and nurse them back to health. This is Kelly Miller, a wildlife rehabber, whose passion is the creatures most people would not consider pets. She cares for the animals that really need assistance so they can survive. People will call these wildlife rescuers directly with any injured or stranded young wildlife, ranging from rabbits to birds of prey.
I take in the orphan, the injured, the sick, and hopefully that they can be helped and rehabbed and hopefully go back into the wild. Unlike her, which she couldn't be let go, so she became an educational animal. This girl here, she is a red-tailed hawk. She come to my mentor as a roadkill victim, but she would have been roadkill. But thankfully someone called and said, hey, there's a hawk on the road that's injured and kind of knocked silly. Thankfully, she did not suffer any wing injuries or leg injuries. The only injuries she really got into was she lost her right eye.
Uno is a partly successful rehab case. Since she is unable to hunt properly, she cannot be re-released into the wild. Kelly and Uno have been an educational resource as well, showing students what it's like to see a hawk up close.
We check them over for any injuries, and if they do have injuries, they go to the vet, and hopefully they can get treated. And then we bring them back home, get them rehydrated, fed, and if they're a young bird, we raise them up to a certain age, and we get them hunting on their own. And once they have proved that they can hunt, they are released back into a park such as this. Like if you take a baby raccoon out of an area and you introduce it to another area, the possibility of spreading disease like distemper is a high probability. And plus you're introducing them back to where they originally came from.
Kelly is working towards becoming a falconer. Falconry is someone who is trained in the art of hunting with a highly trained bird of prey in its natural habitat. These trainers take very good care of raising their birds of prey from their youth.
The falconer taking them in, they're never going to go hungry over the winter. They're always going to be fed whether they're a crappy hunter or not. And once spring comes, they'll have that whole summer to help perfect the hunting when game is plentiful. And then hopefully through the next winter, they'll be able to make it. The goal is to help these guys get through their first winter as young birds. I mean, she wouldn't have made it because she got hit by a car.
Kelly released one barn owl that she had been raising since she found it as a chick that possibly fell out of a nest with no mother or nest in sight. Still treated as a wild animal, this owl was raised like she lived in the wild so she could forage on her own. There is a sense of accomplishment when an animal can thrive in their natural environment once again.
I love what I do because you get to work with these amazing animals, the variety of animals. You're giving them a second chance to go back out into the wild.
And if you do find an injured or orphaned wildlife, contact your local DNR or wildlife expert. Do not handle these yourselves because they are still wild animals. For Pet Pals TV, I'm Adam Dunn.